St Ledger final night at Wimbledon, and Rio Quando proved the star of the undercard. He came within half a length of the track record and fully justified his trainer Danny Riordan's decision to step him up in class. But where did it start for the dog?
We graded him in at Henlow, which was our track that we start off all our dogs in, and we find it easy to bring puppies on there, and he showed us in his first couple of trials that he had decent pace, and then he won a nice race there for us in a very fast time, so we decided we'd bring him onto the open scene. He's a lovely balanced dog, good pace to the corner and stays well.
Clock watchers might have been purring, and with reason, but for Danny it was the way Rio Quando repelled the challenge of the classy Westmead Tina down the far side.
She'd be a real good guide to his qualities, really.
But of course his run behind Barnfield Air also opened many people's eyes to him.
Well, it was a decent run, we were hoping that it was a pity he didn't break a little bit better, and probably I think we would have seen a closer contest. And then take nothing away from Barnfield Air, he looks a super dog, runs a great bend and has tremendous back pace. So, and he looks a real 480 dog. I thought we'd a half chance of probably running him very close, I like a challenge.
That's a bold statement, because he's obviously the fastest dog many people have seen for a long time.
Yeah, but I'd like to have dropped behind him down the back straight, I think we could have made it busy for him, But saying that, you could take nothing away from the dog's performance,
The runs at Walthamstow and Wimbledon prove Rio Quando has the raw pace, and Danny is sure he'll continue to progress.
Well, I suppose he'll be a dog that'll develop, his frame, he's only 2 years of age, so hopefully wouldn't see the best of him, it'll be 2.5, he would hopefully develop a bit more, But we tend to work our dogs fairly hard and run them not as often,
And 2.5 would be around Derby time.
Yeah, hopefully. That we'll have him at his peak with all things being equal, and keep him free from injury, which is the major problem,
Hatching a Derby plan is nothing new to Danny Riordan. Both Droopy's Corleone and Rio Riccardo here reached semi-finals, and while luck deserted both, Danny's looking forward to doing it all over again.
We really enjoyed the trip to as far as we got, and I suppose it being a hobby by us here, we really enjoyed it, and we will do so again, hopefully,
Which of the two was the most upsetting?
I suppose Rio Quando really was the most upsetting. I thought he was there. I thought he was up to qualify for the final, and unfortunately, he wasn't. And probably on that particular year, there probably wasn't a lot between himself and Rapid Ranger. There were two right good dogs at the time, and we would have loved the challenge at the time.
Droopy's Corleone reached back-to-back Derby semi-finals, although was a tougher dog to train. But he too was unlucky not to make the classic final.
He always was a dog with all the niggly injuries, and I'd probably, to some people, he slightly checked going into the third bend, which was unfortunate, but he always had some little bit of an niggly injury, even though he was running, and we just couldn't get to the bottom of him,
Well, his career ended with a victory, and now he's standing at stud.
Now he's standing at stud in the zigzag kennels, and he's not doing too bad, so hopefully one day he'll produce a champion.
Danny's love affair with greyhound racing began as a young man on the coursing fields of Ireland in the 1960s. He later enjoyed success as an owner and a trainer. But it was meeting up with Bill and Margaret Harkness when he moved to England which led to where he's today. All three were owners at the old Hackney Stadium, became friends, and Margaret now works for Danny along with Barbara Seeley. They supplied dogs at Hackney but soon made their mark on the open race scene. Particularly at Catford, Rio Shadow set a new track record for the 555, and one of their biggest successes remains Rio Scorpio's gold collar victory. But during that time they've only ever trained dogs for themselves.
Oh no, external owners, the kennels are all kennel dogs, as we'd call them. Everybody that's here is involved in the dogs.
Now, that either means, if you don't mind me putting it so bluntly, you've either got an awful lot of money or not a lot of sense. Why don't you have people paying to keep their dogs with you?
Well, I suppose we've been lucky, like we had our own business, and this is a hobby for us, like, and we get great enjoyment from the greyhounds, and relaxation, of course, as well. And you get away from work.
But do you run it as a hobby, or do they have to make themselves pay, these dogs?
We run them as a hobby. And they don't have to make themselves pay. If they do, like, well and good. If they don't, that's just unfortunate, isn't it?
And you're also obviously very heavily involved in your own breeding. Tell us about the setup you have breeding-wise.
Well, we have bitches in Ireland, like, with Jimmy Power and one with John Dial. We generally get a pup back, like, from the bitches every year, rare for us, like, and then we buy an odd one off the litter as well. Like, we have a couple now from Rio Droopy's Vieri, I should say, and Kylie Sonia. They tell me they're promising, so they're the next batch coming in. And one from Sombrero, which we had ourselves here, like, so he's fairly handy. So hopefully that the next batch there'll be an open class dog amongst them.
Then obviously this is a hobby for you. You're making it a successful one, an enjoyable one here in Romford. But hasn't the call of Ireland grabbed you? Haven't you gone back there? There's more money, there's more races, there's better competition. Everyone says Irish racing is better. Why are you still here?
Well, I think that could be probably a bit of a fairy tale as well. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with the racing here. I think it's good racing here. Like, prize money, like, people complain about prize money, but I suppose that doesn't probably come into me. Doesn't worry me that much, like the prize money side of it. Like, you know, we treating this as a complete hobby, like, and hopefully one day we'll be involved in the bigger races. Like, you know, that's our aim all the time.
And you must be proud of the fact that when a Rio dog appears on a card in an open race, everyone gives it respect.
And we are proud of that, of course. Like, you know, and it's. And I hope that other people get good enjoyment from them as well, like, you know, and probably win a few quid on the way.
All of us hope the bottom of the rainbow holds not just a crock of gold, but a Derby trophy. And that's what Danny, Margaret, Barbara and the team will be striving for in 2008 and beyond.